and quite a packed morning, a lot to digest this morning. But we'll be talking about the Komenda Sugar Factory and the fact that, there's a Farmers Association in Komenda who are threatening a lot of things. In fact, they're not happy with the fact that a new company has come on board as a strategic investor to take over the Komenda Sugar Factory. And so we'll tell you more about that and why they insist that they are going to go on that strike and demonstration if government does not pull away from this deal. And also, we'll be talking about the domestic debt restructuring program. Just yesterday, the finance minister was speaking, and he's apologized to Ghanaians for what he describes as the untold hardship that was brought upon us by the domestic debt exchange program. But he insists that they didn't have a choice. It was part of the requirements if they needed funding from the IMF to support our economy, and that is why they went ahead with the DDEP. And so he apologizes and he hopes that Ghanaians forgive them. Well, in the studios this morning, Mr. Solomon Owusu is back. He's the senior communicator for Movement for Change. Good morning.
Good morning, Bella.
24 hours and counting, oh?
Yes.
It's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Greetings from my flag bearer, Mr. Alan Chomate, to you and your cherished viewers.
Thank you very much.
My brother, you are here to introduce.
Thank you very much. And also joining us this morning is the MP for Tamale North Constituency, Honorable Alasan Suini. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning,
how are you doing?
I'm terrific.
Yeah?
I hope you are well too.
Oh, not bad at all. Interesting color today. I actually like it.
Thank you. And green looks awesome on you.
Thank you. We're trying. Hey, no. Now I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it looks good anymore.
Ghana.
No. Please, let's leave it there.
Not the Akufo-Addo we do.
No, there's no greening.
You know the greening Ghana under this government is just...
so we're planting trees.
It's just greening corruption.
Oh, don't say that.
It's just green.
Well, very shortly as well, we'll also be joined by Dr. Samuel Efriye. He's a political and economics analyst, and he'll join us when we start the conversation with regards to that apology that was rendered by the finance minister, pardon me. But let's talk about the trades minister. So Honorable Katie Hammond has been speaking. In fact, just a couple of days ago, he announced that the government was set to lease the Komenda Sugar Development Company Limited to an Indian-based firm called West Africa Agro Limited for a renewable term of 15 to 20 years. And he said that this initiative was aimed to revive the company's operations to meet domestic demand. And of course, we know that when it comes to the Komenda Sugar Factory, it goes as far back as 1964, when it was set up by the Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Didn't last too long. In the 1990s, it had to shut down because there were some major problems associated with it. But back in 2016 as well, there was a commissioning under the Eswal Mahama government, and that was because they had secured some $35 million funding to revive the factory. And then it was commissioned in 2 months. Again, it went down. We didn't see much happen again. And then we heard from this government insisting that they were going to revive the Komenda Sugar Factory. So it's been one story after the other. We've really not seen it come into fruition. Then this minister says they're going to lease it to an Indian-based firm for 15 to 20 years. There are lots of dynamics to this as well. But let's listen to him speak on this. And then we'll go back to the Farmers Association in Komenda, who are not happy about this particular deal, and they'll tell you why. Take a look.
Using our asset to a company which is going to work on it, and we use our asset, our equipment, use it, and then pay us back at the end of the day. We're not going to have shares in their products, but the company is 100% Ghana owned.
Okay. So for how long are we leasing these? And then
I'm thinking of giving it to them for 15, 20 years with an option of an extension.
So that's the trades minister. But let's speak to Samuel Mensah. He's the chairman for the Sugarcane Outgrowers Association of Ghana. And they are not happy with this arrangement made by the minister. And they'll tell us why. Hello, Samuel. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us. It's actually a lady speaking to you, by the way. But if I may understand, what is your challenge with this new deal that the Trades Ministry is entering with this Indian-based firm?
Thank you very much. The reason why we, the farmers, are very angry is this. For 2022, we had a negotiation with the company and the farmers. So when previous government finished the factory, they came to us. It's our sugar cane.
Okay.
That the previous government harvested some for. Hello?
Yes, we're listening to you. So if you can, speak louder so we can hear you. And you're a bit too slow. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
I'm on the line.
Please carry on. We're listening. But speak fast for us.
Before Muhammad finished the party, he came to Agro at the.
And I said, Opa country and Wafa.
Hello?
Me pacho say yen country and
In your hand, Mr. Chief.
oh, when you can catch me, pacho fa me. Yo, inti na me bisa say I didn't na mubuefu a trace minister no then aba.
Yo, Central not my here go for me there. 2022. When me key, there was a campaign working on Jama Brofuno. What by your what bought for me? One man, Mr. Permission, other Nano. What baby to him? You know what's in the phone. She said, yeah. Before that, now, the government, they are kind of worried about, and I said, okay. No, the extra. If you wait, try with a land, I don't know if you know. The map and current government is so for days. No, but I've been seeing there. She's a Komenda Sugar Factory, but yeah, I said. You see, the man, your mom, now, you're not so yet. Obiswa pedo bi aso ne bi siamo nti nanso di aso ne bi na gine wa so no ya mo binu ya ka gigire ro ya di try aso ni tete ana ni tete an po mi o ka se man ka tete ala mi o ka se mpo am ya chairman tete afo mo aso ho a mo ka menya kwa mi ya da chicken card so mo ye ko mo njo
Oh.
aso ni so tete ala wo ye ko mo njo ke on da down. Yeah, you know what I want to do one back. Then you go farm from farm to farm. Don't go okay. Every boy said in them, no, what I see you all. I see you all. I am quite. I see what. And now, some you can say, look at that war in Nazi. I mean, my chairman, Katie, at the Dutch Nazi home. I mean, see, you cannot afford no better than man. I saw you. This is unfortunate. Obey. Nti obehia asher nti yamba badeni yaso yentrem ibe anu so pedo ti odi no yama ofonde di nti yamu bi no wa ka di bank loan e di track na asum tisi aye ka se aso ni tisi so a tisi are nyan kofuma won to akwa ne ba so edro gonwa wen Shama, Atebu, Abra, Atebu, Kwaman Kati, Nanaka Kakawi, you mentioned the wedding. I was now part of you. I didn't look at you, Yakaji below now, Yadida and Abandon.
Nti me pacho wo say loan ahina waji because wo say wo was 7 tracks or wha e sugar cane ni wom but wo nyo obi anto loan ahina waji e de plant wo de no.
I mean, Lankata loan na meje loan.
Ahe
5,000.
5,000
Maybe
cedis.
not what income. Maybe around 5,000 in the market. I maybe not what in. Maybe the customer. Maybe it's the market.
Enti sisi ano. Mitio.
Actually, don't let it see Sarah. You catch it. And maybe I put to about what the booking. That's a farm. I don't for what for last 2020. I don't for what the meeting will have. So you made a little. What the meeting will have your book of farm or cut up say. So no, young cooking. I mean, it's in another one, you do. This is the one that you know, Yaka gave you loan. The doctor have been my 3 I don't know, if you have been ma. You want to no, and Guata yesterday. Then I band with your home. No, I can't cut brown sugar fee.
Okay.
Brazil. No, but no, very fine. However, what I see, I will be actually. This is our actually go home. You have a month. Now, that may I come and say you play that company or your private man in Park. Now, against not in taxes. Now, former president, okay, now the seat and taxes can you out which we. Now, fact was I could don't you go to Brazil? One of Brazil told you now, while they are done, how to shine. Peanut in your money. This actually, I think it is well. One top. Yeah, look at the signs. Nay, I need to buy now. You go. One shot to be what 2 shots a year. I'm an opinion to swap. And you can one of the cooperate rapper.
Into our government 1 week there on your body.
Hey, I'm a government 1 week. Yeah, I'm not going to look at actually India. If now, Yakadiji, Yamukin Yakadiji, you know, near the back and Avenue. It is a 1 week in Antonin Town. I'm ready. Okwediara Yanamba. Yabama, the whole gun over the Ankano. Yabafado.
Yo, Martin, Pocho, Sebibinia, you refer back, but that's someone mentor. Yeah, that's it. He's the chairman of the Sugarcane Outgrowers Association of Ghana. That was some elective fancy, but I'll try and just summarize it. I even struggled to get majority of it. But basically, all he's saying is that, you know, there was an agreement for them to grow some sugarcane to supply to the Komenda Sugar Factory at the time when it had been revived, you know, or it was being recommissioned. And so they went ahead to take loans to grow the sugarcane. In fact, for him personally, he took about 5,000 Ghana cedis as loan and invested his own personal money as well to grow the sugarcane. And then now they're hearing that government has agreed on a deal with an Indian-based company. And per what the trade minister had said, so this company has been in existence in Ghana, we're told, for the last 7 years. And what they do is they import, you know, sugar to refine here and sell. And so even if they have this agreement with government, it's going to take another 3 years for them to be able to now get some sugarcane from the local farmers to use. And so in the meantime, they're going to be importing that sugar to be refined in Ghana. And he doesn't understand why that's happening because they have enough sugar to provide to the company that's taking over the Komenda Sugar Factory. And so that's the concern. And good morning to all of you who are watching us on Facebook. Mani, I know you're very passionate about this topic. I've seen your messages. And to all of you as well, keep your messages coming. We'll get into that shortly. And he says that the government has also imported tons of brown sugar from Brazil for this new company to refine into white sugar, while their sugar canes are just rotting away and people are not buying. Thank you so much for that explanation as well. But I'll start off with you. I don't know what you make of this.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, the Mr. Mensah and his group, that's the outgrowers, have a point. If you have invested time, resources, and energy in farming sugar cane with the hope that it will be purchased by the sugar factory, then it's a source of concern. But then I also want us to go beyond what he's saying to actually establish whether or not the amount of sugar cane that they have is able to feed this factory, and also whether or not the sugar cane that they have is suitable for sugar production, because that seems to be the bone of contention. I've listened to varied opinion. I'm not an expert in sugar production, but I hear experts say that the kind of sugarcane that they are growing is not suitable for the factory. But Bella, the point is that we must ask ourselves why, since 1964, this company seemed not to be operating at its full capacity. Kwame Nkrumah established it, operated for some time. They shut down operations. They reopened the factory. It was shut down under Rawlings, and then former President John Mahama also commissioned it on the 30th of May 2016. And just after 2 months, it was shut down again.
Yeah.
So what is the fundamental problem that is bedeviling this company? My own flag bearer, you'd remember, was the former Trade and Industry Minister that received a lot of flags during our internal primaries when I was with the MPP concerning the very issues that he was trying to deal with comprehensively. What did he do when he took over as a minister? First of all, he commissioned a comprehensive audit into the whole activity of the factory to know where the problems were. As it came out, some of the machines that were supposed to be installed prior to commission, i.e. the crushing plant and the vertical and horizontal crystallizers, were not in place. That was how come the company could not operate after commissioning. So then they engaged a strategic partner to partner the government so that they deal with this whole issue comprehensively. Unfortunately, along the way, there was COVID that blocked travels in and through. And so the investor that was supposed to deal with government halted all the activities. After that, he insisted that they complete the factory on time so that production will commence. He did about 98% of the whole factory's renovations. And then it was time for him to bow out to go and pursue his presidential
But before
ambition.
that, so he made that announcement about Park Agrotech. That was the, the company that was
Absolutely,
supposed to partner
absolutely.
with us. That was in November 2019.
That was yes. And
That was November 2019.
Exactly.
We shut down our ports in March.
Yes.
2020. Are we saying that at the time when he made that announcement, we had not gone through the entire negotiation?
No, we had not
And he
yet.
still came out to announce it?
No, they had gotten the framework. It was left with parliamentary ratification. And that is why I'm very surprised with the new development that's coming out. I heard the current minister for trade and industry, Katie Amon, say that they have agreed with a new partner a 1 million annual leasing payment. And I find it very interesting because as far as I am concerned, I can recall the deal with AgroPark was going to fetch the country $3.3 million annually. So what happened that it has been reduced to 1 million? Because remember, we went for a loan from the Indian Exim Bank. We borrowed $35 million. So if you are going or judging by what Katie Amon is saying, that we are going to receive $1 million a year, it means after the 15 to 20 years, we will not have even gotten enough to pay back the loan. And what basis is he arriving at that rental figure? And we are told by the minority that they have not seen any agreement to that effect. So who sat down to agree to this deal? You get my point. Again, I listened to him and he is treating this whole business as though it is his own. When he was asked by the journalist, how many years are you intending to lease this factory to? He said, I am thinking, it is not about you. I was thinking he was going to say, we have agreed. If he said we, that means you together with the government. But the way he answered the question, it creates the impression that he single-handedly sat in his office and agreed with the partners, which must be wrong. So we need to go into it. I am happy that Parliament is insisting that the leasing agreement is brought to it so that they go through it. Then we as Ghanaians will know what the details of this whole arrangement is. Then we can make a proper determination. But in terms of the importance of the factory, you and I know that we import so much sugar into this country. So much so that it is one of the reasons we have a very volatile currency regime. The amount of money or forex you will need to import sugar, you don't need any Solomon to tell you that you need to fix it locally. Again, the employment, all this hula-baloo that the people of Komenda and its surrounding environments are crying, is about jobs. And they know the importance of it. So government must move ahead and then fix it.
Well, let me go back to Honorable Alan Tremartin. When did he get out of office?
January 2023.
January 2023.
Yes.
Now, he did mention that after COVID, which was in 2020, we were going to get back to the deal and ensure that the Komenda Sugar Factory happens. As of June 3rd, 2020, it still had not started.
No, but remember,
he was in office from 2020 up until 2023 when he went out.
Remember.
So between that period when he announced, which was 2019 and 2023, you're telling me that all you're waiting for was ratification from Parliament, and it took 3 years and he couldn't do it and left office?
Things happened.
What happened?
Remember in December of 2022, either November or December of 2022, 2 test runs were conducted on the factory. That was when it was declared that it was 98% complete. In fact, you can ask the people of Komenda whether or not they saw white sugar coming out of the factory. That was the work of Alan. After doing that, that was in 2022. Obviously, 2023 January, he bowed out.
Yeah, but 2022 when?
That was November.
November.
Yes.
So if it was 98% done, that 2%, we couldn't have completed it between November and January when he left.
No, I mean, December, nothing really happens. And then January, he bowed out on the 10th of January. So
when we say December, nothing really happens, I don't seem to understand. Because Komenda Sugar Factory is of importance.
Very important.
You know, and we're talking about one district, one factory. And Alan knew that this was one of the most important things that the NPP needed to achieve.
Absolutely.
If really they wanted to make that one of their campaign messages.
Yes.
So we're saying that between November and January, we could not have completed that 2%.
So rather, you must commend Alan for bringing the factory to speed, completing 98%. I've already given you the genesis. That Kwame Nkrumah established this company in 1964. It could not operate at full capacity. In fact, it stopped at the way. Former President John Mahama recommissioned it in 2016. Just 2 months after that, the company stopped production, or they didn't even operate at all, because I'm not sure you had any sugar on the market bearing the name of Komenda Sugar in this country. Did you see any sugar come? And so when you commission a factory, what you are telling the whole world is that it's ready for production. How come we didn't produce? So if Alan comes in and identify the problems meticulously and complete 98%, I think the least we can do for him is to commend him. And that is it is his works that has culminated in the successive minister saying that he's leasing it out. But for Alan,
but to a different company.
Because
if it was 98%, why didn't the government go ahead?
That is for the government to answer. Alan is out of government. Alan is out of this this party. Alan has no business whatsoever with the boardroom wranglings or decisions. So it is for the minister to explain in detail where Alan left off and where he took off and what he has done so far, so that all of us will be on the same page.
Alhaji, I mean, what do you make of this? Was it really the case that there was some delay in ratification in Parliament, which is one of the reasons why we were not able to see, you know, the Komenda Sugar Factory operate fully?
Well, let me say good morning to Sulu and good morning to our viewers, especially the very good people of the Tamale North constituency. Well, in having this discussion, I wish to call upon all of us to reflect on how our petty politicking, you know, affect the forward march of our country. Apart from our petty politicking, our non-involvement or nonchalance when the politicians engage in that petty politicking, in the end, draws all of us backwards. When I was listening to discussions around the Komenda Sugar Factory, it took my mind to the Avehime rice project. That was also commenced under the erstwhile NDC regime led by the late Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. Just go online and Google or go to YouTube and check you know, the documentaries you will see on Avehime. And if it doesn't break your heart, then you are not patriotic enough. The fact that we allowed politics to destroy such a beautiful, you know, project that was meant to improve our rice production and, you know, improve import substitution, strengthen our city. And for years now, we have lost that opportunity. Should break your heart. Just because when the new government took over in 2001 after Jerry Rawlings, the focus was to make a point with how the previous government was bad. And so the focus was to jail people who were involved in that project. In the process, that beautiful project that would have improved rice production and improved the strength of our city and also leads to import substitution has gone to waste. And you can watch the documentary. It was a massive project with a lot committed to it already. So even if they wanted to score the political point, but at least focus 70% attention on letting Ghana still get the benefits of the project. In that case, not throwing the baby with the bathwater out, we would have been better off as a country. So my mind quickly went to the Avehime rice project. And then again, I started thinking of what the faith of, say, Ameri plant would have been if the deal was not concluded and the implementation started before the NPP government took over in 2017. And I'll explain why my mind went to all of these in relation to Komenda very soon. Because you recall that the claim with the Ameri plant was that the previous government had badly negotiated it and that the price had been inflated by $150 million. But fortunately, the previous government had concluded the deal and Ghana was beginning to reap benefits of the Ameri plant. But they took over and still determined to prove their point. They conducted investigations, set up committees to conduct investigations and did audits. And guess what, Bella? When they came with their proposal to renegotiate the deal, they brought an inflated deal. I mean, when we were left with only about $225 million to pay off and own the plant, they came with a proposal to burden us with $75 million every year for 15 years. When we're just to pay off the 225 and own it, they wanted to burden us with another debt of about $1.12 billion for 15 years. So if we had taken their deal, we would not have owned Ameri like we own it today. And we would not have had the pleasure of transporting it from Accra now to Kumasi and holding, fanfare over it.
Okay, let's connect it to...
Yes, and you see, we would have lost that opportunity. It is the same thing with Komenda. Because Komenda was commissioned in 2016. The test run was done. And what is the purpose of a test run? Is to ensure that if there are faults with the project, then you correct it and go full throttle. That's the purpose of a test run.
Okay.
So you did, the previous government installed this, did a test run. And mind you, it was, we're told, supposed to be a turnkey project. It was supposed to also be, what was it, the phrase used at the time? Reverse integration.
Okay.
So you were supposed to, commission the factory, start operating, and that will encourage more people to begin to grow sugarcane to feed the factory. Now, the NPP's argument at the time was that we should have rather grown the sugarcane before putting up the factory. The NDC's argument was that, look, you need the factory to stimulate the growth of sugarcane. And apart from that, land was also acquired. About 150 acres land was acquired to grow sugarcane to feed the factory and also to cultivate outgrower farmers that will grow to feed the factory. So the plant was done, the test run was done, and the nursery had been prepared to grow sugarcane in the 150 acres. Bella, it will shock you. When they took over in 2017, the first thing they did was to do an audit.
Rightly so, no?
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, was to do an audit. In their own audit, they admitted that it was propaganda that the factory didn't operate during the test run.
In the report?
In the report. Because the report actually...
I've read the reports. I didn't see anywhere that said it was propaganda.
Well, they didn't have to say so, but at least they admitted in the report that there was a test run and that about 5,000 metric tons of sugarcane was procured for the test run. And you know what they found wrong with that? That there were no way bills provided for the purchase of the 500 metric tons.
Yeah, well, that wasn't the only...
I'm coming.
Okay,
I'm still talking.
Because I have it here, so
yes,
I just wanted to read
I'm happy you have it. You can make references to it.
Okay.
And that the 500 metric tons should have produced about 9,000 bags of sugar in the test run. It should have produced about 9,000 bags of sugar during the test run. And that they only have records of 325 bags of sugar produced. Those were the things they found. And that the fertilizer that was used to fertilize the sugarcane farm, there are about 150 acres, should have been organic. And that the NPK that was used, I mean, these were the petty things they found, though, Bella. And that a hot water, cane, what do you call it, terminal plant, it was without electricity.
It was a lot of things they found, and even with the commissioning. So you hold on. You hold on.
Yes.
So it says, point 3, that the plant was commissioned by His Excellency on the 30th of May. A project completion report submitted by the contractor indicated that the project was completed in March 2016, 7 months earlier. Now, it says that the report indicated that the testing of the sugar plant was carried out and sugar was produced successfully. However, full load production for its installed capacity could not be carried out due to inadequate supply of sugar cane. Okay, so Septec PVT has also submitted
Bella,
a bill.
Are you getting the drift?
I'm getting you, but I'm just trying to let you understand that.
No, Bella, that's why I took it from Aveme. That's why I talked about Mary plant. And I'm saying that if they did the audit and they found all of this, Bella, if they were minded to help Ghana reap the full benefits of this factory, and these were the things they found, Bella, should it take 8 years to fix those things? Should it? I mean, let's be reasonable. If these were the things they found wrong, even if you want to amplify them, the fertilizer that is applied on the farm was a problem. 8 years on. Electricity that should have been connected to a plant that was installed wasn't done. 8 years on. Are these excuses that we should tolerate? That's the point I'm making. Why do we allow that petty politicking to destroy a project that has the potential to improve our currency and also improve import substitution? Why? Just because you want to still continue with the narrative that the previous government made a mistake or engage in bad deeds in putting up the factory. So, because of that, farmers who went to take loans to take advantage of that project should suffer. Our hard-earned money, Ghanaian taxpayers' money that we pumped into it to bring the factory to the level that you found it should go to waste. And it has already gone to waste. Look, in 2016, when the factory was commissioned, PricewaterhouseCoopers did an audit of the factory.
Yeah.
And according to them, the value of the factory was about $53 million. By 2017 September, because they did nothing to it to improve on its operations, the same PwC valuation put the factory at $40 million. About $13 million lost to the state because of inaction of the new government. Shouldn't we be holding people responsible for that causation of financial loss? Because that, in my view, is deliberate.
What do you say to KT Amon when he says that even the cost of refurbishing Komenda Sugar Factory was inflated by some extra $12 million? I'm sure you've heard him say that. I remember Imani Africa back in 2014 when, this money was agreed on, the $34 million and more to refurbish the Komenda Sugar Factory. They had come out to say that that money was not going to be enough to get Komenda Sugar Factory to run as it should. Because if you look at even reports done by World Bank, etc., they all pegged it at $90 million. That's how much we needed at that time to refurbish it, for it to run and produce sugar so we don't have to import sugar anymore. So what do you say to that?
Bella, what I say to that is, first of all, if anybody did anything wrong, if anybody inflated the price, however, remember that I've already talked about Ameri.
Yeah.
And how such claims could not be supported by their own investigation. But assuming that they could even support these claims in the case of Komenda, what stopped them from holding those people responsible and still ensuring that this fixed the problem of sugar production in Ghana? Remember when Komenda was going to be started? It was in the statement of His Excellency President John Mahama in one of his State of the Nation addresses to Parliament. And it was at the time that once again, our cedi was, beaten badly by, foreign currencies. And it had moved from about 2.8 to $1 to around 3.5 to $1 at the time. And I remember preachers at the time even predicting that it will get to 5. And there was pandemonium. Today, in fact, we are comfortably dealing with 15 cedis to $1. That's by the way. But that was the time that the president, in addressing the nation, spoke about some of the imports that were having a toll on our city. He spoke of tomato. He talked about sugar. So it was not like, a project that was not well thought through. It was thought of as a solution to dealing with our currency challenges.
Okay.
So he talked about sugar and tomato and I think poultry. And then he set out after that statement to deal with these challenges. And that is how come, a policy was introduced to regulate how much chicken could be brought into this country and support given to poultry farmers. It is on record. I mean, I remember many embassies at the time fought even our government for the quota that was given. You needed to apply and you needed to source some of the poultry. You needed to show evidence of sourcing about 60% of the poultry locally before you were even given the chance to bring in the rest.
Okay.
And that was to improve poultry. And then the issue of sugar was Komenda. The answer to the sugar was Komenda.
So fast forward. Now
let me tell you.
We have the minister saying that a deal has been agreed on.
That is just.
What's the challenge with minority?
That is just too late. Too little, too late. And for me, I think that it is just another way of getting busy with it and getting, corrupt deals under the table and pretending to be doing something. I don't want to be very direct, but people know what I'm talking about. It's just to engage people and feel important and get paid. Look, in 2017, I'm happy you have the report. And if you allow me, they, after their audit, outlined a way forward.
Yeah.
Bella, they outlined a way forward. For example, they said a complete contract with Ceftec, that they should ensure that the remaining parts of the plant that were identified through the technical audit are installed, and that ensure that a test and trial runs are executed thoroughly from crashing. And it goes on. Then they talked about activities to undertake from 0 to 12 months. That was 2017. And those activities are listed. Institute a board of directors, harvest and dispose ratoon canes on the 14 hectares, maintain 34 hectares of plant cane, harvest and plant 48 hectares of sugar cane. These were activities to be undertaken 0 to 12 months. Have they done all of that? Now, they went on to even propose a board that was to be that was to have representation from the ministry. Yeah. You had Honorable Robert Ahumka Lindsay, the private sector. You had Douglas Mensah. You had renowned etc. They proposed all of these things, and the board was also to do certain things. Bella, this was 2017. We are in 2024. We are in 2024, and we still don't have sugar from that factory. Farmers who took loans and started farms to take advantage of the installation of that factory are complaining of losses. The value of the factory has reduced from about $53 million to less than $40 million as we speak. Now look at the back and forth. According to Solomon, the former minister got a deal of $3 million annually. This one is telling us $1 million annually. These are a bunch of, I don't want to say ignoramus, but that is what comes to mind. Well, they have simply come to destroy this country, and their focus is just on how to get themselves rich and how to annex the little that is still available for themselves. I'll let
Solomon come in shortly, but did this deal come to Parliament, the one that the current trade minister has announced?
Not that I am aware of.
It didn't come to the floor of Parliament for you to agree?
No, not
Ideally, should that be the process?
Well, it depends on the nature of the contract.
Okay.
I mean, if it is a foreign contract, then definitely it must come to Parliament.
All right. Solomon.
So quickly, clearly what my brother just said rather should be a concern that the former administration decided to put up the factory before thinking of raw materials. I mean, basic economics will tell you that there are goods that are complementary. You cannot tell me you are putting up a factory without thinking about the raw material that will be used to feed the factory. And that was one of the problems.
You see, that you are still going on. So let me, I just remember the phrase I forward. It is practice. No, it is practice industrialization. It is called backward integration.
Forget about the terminology.
Acceptable.
So forget about the terminology, my brother. Listen, the truth of the matter is that the very petty politics we have been doing is what they did in 2016.
Oh my God.
Their own report suggested to them. There is a report that states or identifies areas in this country that are suitable for sugarcane factories. And they are in the know. In fact, in 2013, former President John Mahama himself knowing this fact, said that he was going to set up a sugar factory in Savlugu. Because the report says that in Ghana, the most suitable place to site a sugar factory is Savlugu. Why did he refuse this report?
Refuse it in what sense?
Refuse it in the sense that he decided to go for a loan.
Hold on, Alaji. Let Solomon make these points, then you come in.
The point is that...
I'm shocked at you.
What are you shocked at?
Solomon,
No, do you know Savlugu and Komenda?
Alaji, hold on. I'll let you come in.
Me,
Alaji.
I have already stated my point that I am not an expert in sugar.
You are saying he rejected this report.
He himself went for a loan, $35 million, and had a report that said that in Ghana, if you want to site a sugar factory, Savlugu is more suitable than any other place. Yet he decided to still send the money back to Komenda and commission a factory that was no operation.
But there was already a sugar factory there. Yeah. Does it not make sense that you go and refurbish what's already been put up?
But the point is that you should have looked at the history. This is a factory commissioned by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah that stopped production along the way. We recommissioned it, stopped production. So you should have gone into why we are unable to operate that company, that factory.
Then we should be asking you as well, and Honorable Alan. Why is it that even after when he was in office, it still could not run?
No, but the point is that when Alan came, that is why I am very surprised at his determination of matters here. When Alan came, the factory was not running. Let's get it straight.
And when he left, it wasn't running?
After a test
No, I'm coming.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a test run. It was commissioned. When we commission a project, it is no more a test run matter. I mean, you can assist us with this debate. That when you tell me that this factory is commissioned, what you are telling me is that it's ready for production. Why was it shut down again? It wasn't running. And I am very happy that he referred to the audit. The audit said there were certain components of the factory that were absent.
Yeah.
So how was Alan going to run without getting those parts fixed?
But you say that he fixed it up to 98%.
Absolutely. And that is how come it has allowed the current minister to go ahead with a partner.
So my viewers on Facebook want to know, so at what percent did you meet it? At what percentage did you meet it before moving it to 98%?
So when we came, there were components that were missing. That one is a fact. As to the percentage, I cannot give you over. I don't want to guess. But the truth of the matter is that Alan left it at 98%. If it was operating at full capacity, I'm not sure we needed to bring in other investors, as the report suggests. So we must get that one clean and clear.
Okay.
You see, Bella, I'm shocked at Solo.
Why are you shocking at me? You have been given an opportunity to speak.
But let him say why he's shocked.
Why must he be shocked?
Can he not be shocked?
I'm very shocked at why he's shocked at my position.
Is that not an emotion he should be allowed to express?
No, he's not allowed to express an emotion. That is not reasonable.
You know, I get his discomfort. I get his discomfort.
Why? There's no discomfort in this.
So allow him to make his point.
But did you give him the
opportunity? When he was interjecting you, I stopped him.
Yes.
But so I'm doing the same thing.
That's why I'm stopping you so that he can also make his point. Let him tell us why he's shocked.
I understand his discomfort, but I'm shocked at the angle that he's going. His discomfort is because this factory has Alan written all over.
No, that is not true.
You know, because he was trade minister and had the responsibility to continue what the NPP inherited from the NDC. And so he's uncomfortable that this is the story. But I don't fully blame Alan that much. Sometimes it's about the focus of the government. It's the interest of the government. And for all you know, they were more interested in finding faults with the project than committing resources to his ministry to getting it run. And if the Minister of Finance at the time, who was President's cousin, was not really interested in getting the factory run, Alan could have done all the things that he may have been willing to do, but would not have enjoyed the support of the finance minister. So I get his discomfort, but he must understand it's not Alan that is on trial here. Okay. It is the incompetent and dishonest and clueless New Patriotic Party that is on trial here. That has wasted our time for the last 7 years, as far as this and many others are concerned. And he talks about a problem with setting up the factory before starting
briefly, so we can
farm.
Move on to another
Clearly,
topic.
there's evidence, Bella. There's evidence that the farm was procured. I mean, the farm was acquired, and that it was available, and the nursery had been started.
It's okay.
Apart from that, that's why I was asking him if he knows Komenda and Savlugu. look, Savelugu is my matrilineal
Yes.
hometown.
Yes.
Solomon.
I partly grew up in Savelugu, Bella. But trust me, I've never seen sugarcane in Savelugu.
In Savelugu.
But when you go to Komenda, you will find sugarcane farms.
So was there ever a report that indicated that Savelugu
I don't know
was a
about
better...
it, but you see, if there was such a report, it will be about maybe the soil quality and how it can support production.
Okay.
But I'm telling you that we're all taught basic economics in school, and you cite a factory near to source of raw material, and I'm telling you that apart from the existing factory at Komenda, if you actually go to Komenda, you will find sugarcane. You don't have even to start from the scratch, like in the case of Savelugu. Even if the soil supports production of sugarcane, I'm saying that we really have not done a lot of sugarcane growing in Savelugu. But if the soil supports it, I'll encourage any government with the resources to do that. But I'm saying that it made sense at the time, dealing with an emergency. That is the need to substitute imports. You go and revamp an existing factory in an area where sugarcane growing is already known. It's only commonsensical to do that. And he talks about if you commission a project, then it starts operation. Really? I mean, only recently. I don't want.
That's not how it works.
I don't want to. That is how.
That's not how it works.
That is how. There's no written law anywhere that when you commission a project, it immediately starts. Full operation. It was a test run that was used for the commissioning. And I'm just giving a recent example, Bella. The Kumasi, even though they refused to commission the better Terminal 3, Kumasi Airport is a beautiful one, but you all know that Terminal 3
it doesn't make it right.
I'm saying that they commissioned Kumasi Airport. But what happened after the commission?
Let's move on and
Sometimes
move to our
you
next
commission
topic.
and you detect certain things, and then you fix it.